Okay, so I had a question about the first intake as far as install and questions like that. There it is on top of my 383. It comes with the gaskets that you need as far as your runners and whatnot. It has to be installed as a complete unit. The intake, the runners, the plenum, and the throttle body, and the fuel rails. You'll need to supply your own fuel injectors. I got mine from FIC. He's real easy to work with. You can run a large cap distributor with this, but it's tight. And if I had to do it over again, I would not. I would use a small cap, then just run a remote coil. But it will fit. As far as getting that in and out of there, you can get the cap on and off. It's tight, but you can actually get the cap out of there. But if you, of course, if you have to take the distributor out, the plenum has to come off, and I believe this back runner does as well, but I'm not sure. I don't off the top of my head remember if you need to buy intake gaskets. I don't know if those came with it or not. It's been a little while, so you probably have to have your own intake gaskets. I needed one of these and one of these to get rid of my little accordion piece. Some people have said that they've been able to stretch the accordion piece and get it over here, but this is basically just a reducer. You can buy these from Spectre for like 12 bucks, I think. I got this from the farm implement store. It's basically a plumbing piece. It's a 4-inch to 3-inch reducer, I think. And then this is just an extension, also a plumbing piece. When you install this on your car, I have an 87. The hood will clear this, but you want to make sure that, like on your, these things, your hose clamps, that you have all of these pushed down away from the top. You don't want to have a hose clamp sitting up here because you can impact your hood sometimes when you shut it. I did not have my cruise hooked up. That's something that you'd have to work out with this throttle body. It doesn't have an easy provision for cruise. Got the kick down on here, and then got the throttle on here. I modified mine just a little bit. Some people have said that they've found ways to work with the stock throttle body. You could do that. You can make yourself some sort of little adapter for right in here. And use a stock throttle body. I haven't been real impressed with this one. It takes the same TPS sensor as a stock one. If I had to do it over again, I would probably find some way to reuse the stock throttle body or one like it. It works. You hit the gas and it'll put you back in the seat. But I just don't think you get the full fine range of motion, if that makes sense. I don't think you get the full bite. Let's wander around to the other side here. Okay, now on the other side, you will need a adjustable fuel pressure regulator. I mounted mine right to the side of the plenum here. I made just a little piece and got that hanging off there because that was easy for my fuel lines. You'll have to run your own fuel lines. I basically spliced off of where they meet, come out of the body, and then just ran my in and out to the fuel pressure regulator. And then I chose to go in the back of the fuel rail and then jump across in the front. You can do it either way, however you want. On mine stock, they came in the front. The fuel lines actually came up into the front of the fuel rail and then jumped across the back. But basically what you'll do is, whichever way you go, and it doesn't really matter, but you'll want to go in one end. Because of clearance issues, I chose to go in the far end on that side. Come down the length of the fuel rail. You have to jump across the front, come back, and then you're going to want to dead end this end. Don't pass all the way through the fuel rail. You want a dead end one side to give you your pressure. And so, I mean, basically, as far as parts list, I mean, you'll have to buy just a crap load of little brass fittings, little elbows and fittings. You'll also need to buy, you know, of course, your fuel line. And then I got these from O'Reilly's, if you can see them, but those are actually clamps for fuel lines, so they don't bite down into the fuel line itself. And those are kind of a pretty penny, but then you won't have to worry about your fuel lines. And of course, that could be done with as much money as you wanted. You could put nice AN fittings in there and braided fuel lines and all that stuff, but that works. Just like that. Of course, your vacuum lines. There are provisions for whatever kind of vacuum line that you need. Let's see what else. I highly recommend, on the old throttle body, your idle air position plug-in is real easy to get to. On this one, it's not. They got it stuck way up in there. I don't know if you can see it, but one of the steps for accurately setting your throttle when you first get everything all set up is to disconnect that. And so what I did was, of course, you'll have to extend the wires, which is pretty easy, but I just made quick disconnects on the wires, so I can actually just unplug it out here as opposed to having to get up in there and mess around with that. There's also a plenum sensor up underneath here. You have to extend the wires for that, but that's no big deal either. It's just splicing some wires. Let's see what else. That's pretty much basically it. I used the same thermostat housing that I had on there. You can see it. It's over there. That's not too hard to get to, not too hard to do. Cleared everything. Other than that, I guess if you have any questions, you can ask me, and I could come out here and look. It's been a little while since we've done this, but just kind of figuring out the routing and stuff like that was probably the worst part, and then the fuel lines. But she'll fit, and if you use a small cap distributor, your life will be a lot easier. And that's about it.